So as you guys are aware, the latest episode came out on The Last of Us, and this one had to do with the DLC Left Behind, and it had to do with Ellie and Riley's relationship, and what ultimately led to Ellie realizing that she was actually immune. It's a great story, and it's something that is really well loved from the games. The DLC was actually very good, but the problem is the DLC is treated as a DLC, and it should be because it is a DLC. It's something that is supposed to give you more context to what happened in a game that you already played through. You progress the plot, you understand what happens from the beginning to end, and it's that kind of a thing. With a DLC based episode in a story that hasn't yet finished, it doesn't quite feel as anything other than another filler episode, and that's what a lot of people have in terms of like a problem with this particular episode. But unfortunately, due to the fact that it is LGBTQ based, that means that it's an episode that's completely immune from any sort of criticism. You're not allowed to criticize anything related to an LGBTQ episode because if you do, you are automatically homophobic and they don't like you anymore. Now, this particular article from CBR.com says The Last of Us, Ellie and Riley's kiss didn't air in some markets. Now, I don't know why, I should say I do know why, that someone like CBR.com is writing articles about this, and it's because they know it's going to get clicks. They know it's going to get a whole bunch of outrage clicks. But at the end of the day, are you really surprised that something LGBTQ based got banned in multiple different streaming avenues outside of the United States of America? It really shouldn't surprise you. And I know it's a talking point in the Western market where everything needs to be gay, but the most of the world, 99, 98%, whatever of the world, is not like that. Most of the world lives their own personal lives that have very conservative ideologies and values. And I know people hate that in the United States, or at least that's what they want you to believe anyway, in terms of media and online and Twitter and all that. But that's not how the real world actually works. The real world is very conservative for the most part, and they don't believe in this bullshit, this constant pandering, this constant nonsense. So now you have people that are supposedly upset over the fact that this episode was censored, but they really shouldn't be upset because what was that excuse again? I don't know, guys. I'm trying to think. What was that excuse again? I remember. Oh, that's right. Something about like private companies being able to do whatever they want. Something like that, guys. I'm sure you remember. But anyway, let's talk about this. So it says The Last of Us fans in some overseas markets reveal that streamer OSN Plus edited out episode seven's emotional kiss between Ellie and Riley. So emotional, Renee. Let's talk. Let's see. Well, Renee, um, why am I just not surprised, Renee? I'm just not. I'm never surprised anymore. It's always a white fucking female, always. But anyway, it says some fans of HBO's hit series The Last of Us completely missed out on Ellie and Riley's first and last kiss. Oh God, the kiss was so necessary. Was it really necessary? Honestly, at the end of the day, is it necessary for telling such a sad story? I guess. I guess you people really just need to see people kiss. I mean, it's weird. As detailed on Kotaku, OSN Plus, a Dubai-based streaming service. Why would that shock anybody? Dubai-based streaming service banning LGBTQ content. Is that so shocking? That offers a series exclusively for viewers in North Africa and the Middle East, edited out episode seven's kiss scene. The censorship prompted cries of outrage from fans on social media that were expecting the kiss due to its presence in the source material. Oh, now we're talking about the source material. Now, since the source material is very gay, now all of a sudden the source material matters. Isn't that amazing? Isn't it amazing, ladies and gentlemen, how the source material that supposedly never mattered in any other, topic that we've ever discussed, Rings of Power, Lord of the Rings, never mattered, right? Like none of this stuff ever matters, and we need to update it from modern times, right? That's that kind of a thing. Now, all of a sudden, respecting the source material matters because it had to do with something that was gay. It's very interesting. This is not the first time OSN Plus has censored LGBTQ content. Good, and it probably won't be the last either. It previously removed the same-sex kiss scene from How to Get Away with Murder. So again, we have a tweet here, and it says, I knew it looked weird. What the F? How do they just cut it out like that? In my region only, I'm guessing since this is OSN Plus, don't let them get away with this. Guess what? Guess what? This is the best thing. They're tagging HBO Max and Naughty Dog, right? They're tagging HBO Max and Naughty Dog. This is the best part. HBO Max and Naughty Dog sells OSN the rights to use the content, right? So OSN was the one that reached out to HBO Max and Naughty Dog and said, hey guys, we would love to post this, but in order for this to be posted in this particular streaming service, we're going to need you to edit this out. And guess who said, okay, do it? Guess who said it? HBO Max and Naughty Dog. Because if they didn't say it, it would have never been posted on OSN. It's the same thing as movies. They get censored from Disney Plus. It's the same exact thing. When Disney censors stuff for China all the time, it's the same thing. Disney has to be the one to say, okay, edit it out. Otherwise, they're going to say, you know what? We're just not going to release it. But guess what? They wanted that money, baby. They wanted that money. Money talks at the end of the fucking day. So I think it's hilarious that they're tagging HBO Max and Naughty Dog to not let them get away with this when the only reason they got away with it was because they said it was okay in the first place. This is ultimate fucking hilarity here. It just goes to show how people outside of Twitter don't know how the real world works. It says the Kiss OSN removed was lifted directly from The Last of Us video game's DLC Left Behind, a flashback to Ellie's past before she met Joel. During this period, Ellie is training to become an officer for Fedra. It's here that she meets her best friend Riley, who later runs away from the QZ compound without telling Ellie why. When she suddenly reappears a month later, she informs Ellie that she just joined the Fireflies, a revolutionary militia group that seeks to destroy Fedra. And then it says LGBTQ representation in The Last of Us. Here we go. While annoyed with Riley's choice, Ellie joins her for a carefree night of fun at the abandoned mall. Towards the night's end, Riley reveals that the Fireflies are sending her away to another quarantine zone. Not long after that, the romantic tension... Oh, here we go. More about this romantic tension nonsense. You know, there's no such thing as two people of the same sex being friends anymore. Like, everything has to be romantic tension. It says the two finally reach the surface and they share a kiss. However, their relationship tragically ends when the infected discover and attack them. Both wounded and believing they're on the verge of death, the girls remain together until Riley dies, leaving Ellie alone with the newfound knowledge of her immunity. Again, it's a fantastic story. I love the way that they did the backstory with Ellie finding out that she's immune. I thought it was good. I enjoyed the DLC when it was in the game. It does feel like a filler episode in this episodic format with The Last of Us and how the story has yet to progress, and now they're throwing in this story as a flashback. Still, it feels odd in the timing, but at the end of the day, it's fine. It's based on the source material. It's not like Bill and Frank where they completely changed everything. They actually played it out for the most part like in the game, so it's not a big deal. It says Ellie and Riley are not the only LGBTQ couple to be featured in The Last of Us Episode 3, titled Long, Long Time, dedicated most of its runtime to the romance between Bill and his partner, Frank. While this episode received positive reaction from fans, it was also heavily review bombed on IMDb shortly after its premiere. Currently, the episode still holds an 8.0 rating on the website, while most of the other episodes hold a 9.0 or higher. So let me ask you a question. Is it really so shocking? Like, is that really review bombing? Think about that for a second. 8.0 score compared to its normal 9.0 score. Is that really review bombing, or do people have actual issues with that particular episode? Why is there... Review bombing is like, okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 sort of a thing. You know what I mean? Like, you're holding at an 8.0. That's well above average. That means most people still enjoyed it, but they had a couple gripes with the episode. So how is that considered review bombing? You guys just want to be immune to criticism. That's the problem. LGBTQ activists want to be immune to any form of criticism whatsoever to themselves, the TV shows, what they're represented in. They want no criticism. They want everybody to say, oh, how stunning and brave that this guy fucks another guy, or this woman fucks another woman. Oh, this is so stunning and brave. We've never seen this before since the dawn of fucking time. Like, this is not stunning and brave stuff. Nobody cares. You guys are making it into more than what it actually is. These episodes feel like filler episodes, and episode 3 for sure was 100% a filler episode, and I've been very critical about that particular episode. But I don't think this episode was necessarily that bad. It follows the source material for the most part. Yeah, it's just more gay shit at the end of the day, but the game has this in it, so you gotta respect the source material. I'm an avid fan of respecting the source material, and that means that unfortunately we are gonna see some things that maybe not a lot of people agreed with in the actual game when the game came out. But at the end of the day, the story's pretty good, and I do enjoy the way they showed Ellie's immunity. It's no different from the game. But of course, we need to play victim and we need to say, oh, it's terrible. We're getting oppressed. We're getting this, that. Listen, you're very privileged and you're very lucky to be living in the Western world. Very lucky. And a lot of these activists seem to pretend as if America's the worst place in the world. You're so oppressed. You can't get away with murder, basically, at this point, because that's really what you really want to do. You want to get away with anything. But when you realize, and these little situations make these activists realize that outside of the Western world, people don't play that shit, okay? Yeah, you got some places like Canada or even Europe and some places that play this shit. Australia is very woke too for the most part. But you have other places of the world that do not play this shit. And just because they don't doesn't mean that you get to tell these people how to live. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy. And if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.